My name is Principal Rudden. It's an honor to be here with you this morning, and welcome to welcome to our informational night. We always like to kick things off with our mission and vision, and the reason why is because our mission and vision are vital in everything we do, whether it's our philosophies with academic decisions, whether it's our policies or procedures. Everything circles back around to our mission. What I love about our mission is that it, one, unites the community. I think that's critical. You'll hear us talk throughout the PowerPoint slide how much we care about parental involvement and students being involved in their students' educational pathway, regardless of what it is. So I love that it says unite the community. I also like the fact that it includes college or career. So whatever your interest is, if you stay with us through high school, we have focuses in both areas. Not everybody wants to go to college, and that's okay. There's a lot of great jobs in the career pathway as well. And so we'll talk about some of those options as we proceed forward, but I just love that it really encompasses students no matter what path they're going down in high school, and I love the fact that it unites the community. Our vision is that students perform at the highest level on all academic measures. We do, and you'll hear this a lot throughout the night, focus on academics and academic rigor. I think that's what's provided Pinecrest the ability to grow exponentially in this state, and you'll hear me talk about a little more in the next slide, nationwide as well, is because we really cultivate an environment where students can learn and find success. And that's going to be our ultimate focus at all times. So for those of you who may not be familiar with charter schools and what that looks like from a structure standpoint, I just want to take a quick moment to kind of go over and highlight some aspects about a public charter school. So number one, we are a public school. We are free tuition, and we do have an enrollment process for students to get into our school, but we are a free public school. We're federally funded. Pinecrest is a national system. So Pinecrest originally started in Florida, and now in Florida they have about 22 Pinecrests, and they're still growing. And what's great about this is we actually just had an opportunity to meet in Arizona this past weekend with all the principals from all of Pinecrest. And it gives us a unique opportunity to meet with principals in other locations and really make sure that we're cohesive in our approach, so that no matter where you are, what Pinecrest you're at, you know you're getting an equal educational opportunity there. So I love that we're a system and we're a growing system. In the state of Nevada, we have about 7 Pinecrest schools, and I say about because we have a virtual component, and that virtual component is housed here at Pinecrest Cadence. We just started the virtual component last year. We're the first charter school in the state of Nevada that has been approved to have a virtual component to it. We just saw a need coming out of the pandemic and provided an opportunity by the charter authority, and so we started that last year. We have about 130 students enrolled in that program, and we look to continue to expand that as well. So Pinecrest is growing in Florida and in Nevada. We also just opened one up in Idaho, as well as there's some talk about them opening up in Carolina. So it's definitely a growing organization, and it's great to be a part of such an incredible movement. As a system, we answer, of course, to the Department of Education because we are federally funded in a lot of ways. We're consistently, as a charter school, fighting for similar funding as a lot of the public schools, and I'm sure if your parents have listened to the news, you'll hear some of these conversations take place, especially as we get into some of the political seasons. But nevertheless, I know we're not here for politics, we're here for school, but I just wanted to point out that we are federally funded through the state, and that we do still answer ultimately to the Department of Education. With that, the Department of Education works in collaboration with the Charter Authority, and the Charter Authority stays in communication with our system, specifically our board. And so our board operates, they have open meetings, and those things will be posted throughout the year. And they're also public as far as the records of those meetings. But we do have a board that we operate under, and they make a lot of critical decisions or help to make decisions such as financial decisions for the charter schools, as well as curriculum decisions. So when we go with our curriculum, a lot of this has to be vetted and put in front of the board at an open meeting prior to us making those determinations how to move forward. So both financially and a lot of the curriculum decisions, there are oversights and checks and balances there, which I think is important as a parent myself. I value that, and I think that's great that we have that in place. The board of directors are who hire the principals at each location. So when I went through the process of becoming the principal at Pinecrest Cadence, I had to meet in front of the board and go through an interview process but we, as the school principals, answer ultimately to the board, and then so on. But that just gives you an idea of the basic structure of our school and kind of the checks and balances along the way. So, want to quickly highlight our team, because you can't do anything without an incredible team. I've had the privilege of working alongside a lot of these folks for the past few years, and I know I'm biased because I work here and work with them on a day-to-day basis, but we have an incredible group of leaders at this school. They're talented, they're smart, they're bright, but most of all, they care about each and every student at our school, and they work tirelessly. As you can see, that many of them are still here tonight just because they wanted to be a part of this informational evening so they could talk to all the parents and the families that hopefully will be coming to Pinecrest Cadence soon. So just an incredible group of educators at our school. So I just want to highlight a few of them. We have first Brittany Ramirez, who is our assistant principal over in elementary for 3 through 5. We have Megan Utok, who is our K2 assistant principal, also over in the elementary building. We have Nicole Muskalik, she is our dean of students. Rochelle Warren is our instructional coach. You all met the incredible Sherelle Freeman, our Safe School professional. And just to give you an idea, the Safe School professional we all fill a lot of different roles, but the primary role is a support for students' mental health and social emotional well-being. So you'll see that we have a Safe School professional. There's different names at different schools, but that's what it means at our school, is they just deal with the holistic student. A lot of them are counselors by trade, so they have that background as well and can talk to students and support them with growing tools and just mental health awareness, so that is important to us. We have Sarah Pekla, who is our special education facilitator, and we have Teresa Chavez, who is our school psychologist. And you'll see as we go to the next slide that there is some overlap, and I think it's important to point that out because one of the great things about being at a K-12 school is that we do work collaboratively across the buildings. So as you get into your tours and walk around, you'll see that there's an elementary building, there's a middle school building, and there's a high school building. But our staff consistently is meeting, making sure that we're all on the same page, that we're calibrating together. It's also beneficial if you're a family that happens to have students in different buildings, right? Then you know you're dealing with a lot of the same staff members, whether it's in high school, whether it's in middle school, or whether it's in elementary school, and it just helps us with communication. Let's say, for example, a student had a situation at home and they're in kindergarten, and they let us know, but there's also a 6th grade student in the same family. Well, we're able to then quickly communicate to the staff in middle school, hey, the younger sibling's having some issues, we might want to check in with them as well to make sure they're doing okay. So it just allows us to be seamless as far as that process, which may or may not happen if you're in separate schools. This is our secondary leadership team. It's a lot bigger, but that's because we have the secondary leadership's responsible for our middle and high school buildings, so they oversee 6th through 12th grade. So we have Rachel Galbraith, who is our assistant principal over our high school building. We have Lorraine Oler, who is over our middle school building. And then we have Ms. Jamie Purdy, who's over special education, electives, scheduling, all those things. And then we have our 2 dean of students, Todd Brennan and Ron Coe. We have Kendra Cox, our counselor, one of our counselors. We have Desiree DiNicola, who's one of our counselors, Lynn Thomas, one of our counselors, and Mr. Nielsen, our academic advisor. And so Ms. Thomas and Ms. Cox predominantly focus on our high school, and then Ms. DiNicola and Mr. Nielsen predominantly focus in our middle school building. We also have Ms. Selfright, who is our instructional coach. Ms. Donato, who is our CTE coordinator, and that's our college and career tracks, or that's our career tracks more. And we have Sarah Peklo again, our special education facilitator, Ms. Chavez again, our school psych, and Ms. Espy, who is our safe school professional in our secondary building. She fulfills similar roles to Ms. Freeman. All right, just want to highlight again and reiterate the importance of parent involvement. At Pinecrest Cadence and Pinecrest across the board, we value parent involvement. I don't know what previous experiences you all have had at other schools. There's some schools that really value that, and we are one of those. We value it for a lot of different reasons. Most importantly, there's such a correlation between parents who are involved with their students' educational process and the student's success academically. They go hand in hand, right? The saying is, it takes a village. Well, it really does. And it's important that we have parents involved. You can be involved in a lot of different ways. We're always looking for coaches across the board because we do run sports, which we'll talk about in a later slide, K through 12. We're always looking for coaches. We're always looking for volunteers to help out different events that we host. If you're interested in really getting involved, our PTO is absolutely incredible. Best PTO in the state by far. They've grown each year more and more, and they get more and more involved with doing things to support our students as well as our teachers. And so we wouldn't be the school that we are without our parents and our PTO being involved. So we really cherish that and are glad that we have cultivated a school that values that. Just wanted to point out a few things about our school, and the things that I am covering on the slides are going to be whole school. So whether you're coming in as a kindergarten parent, a first grade parent, or across the board to a senior parent in 12th grade, these slides that I'm covering now are really whole school visions and things that impact everybody regardless of the building. We'll differentiate as we go through the slides into elementary, middle, and high school for those parents who those are applicable for, but all the things that I'm addressing are really global things. As a school, we do value being high achieving. It's important to us, and that comes with our star ranking. I don't want to stick on the star ranking too much because although we value it because it gives us feedback that we're doing things right and we're successful, and for those of you who don't know what the star ranking is, the state has different parameters that they evaluate schools by. And so some of those things are like academic achievement levels, attendance, things like that. So it gives us great feedback as a school to determine, hey, are we heading in the right direction, or do we need to reevaluate things and maybe pivot and do some things different in different capacities. The past few years, we've been consistently pretty much 4-star school, and that was no different this past year. We did drop a little bit in our middle school building, but we're already back on the track of bringing that to a 5-star school. But we are proud that our high school and elementary school this past year were both 5-star schools. So again, don't want to stick on that too much, but I think it is important to at least recognize that we are a high-achieving school across the board. I also wanted to touch on the curriculum piece a little bit, and I kind of did already in the previous slide, but just wanted to reiterate that our curriculum is board approved. It's something that we go through a process. Whenever there's curriculum changes that need to happen, that's something that we do take in front of our board. We vet different options, like right now there's a springboard curriculum that we use in our secondary building that's transitioning, and so we're vetting some other curriculum options, and during that process, we take that in front of the board after we get feedback and they evaluate it as well. We are a blended learning model, and what that means is that we're kind of a mix between that traditional learning and technology. I'm a parent. I have a 13-year-old and I have a 5-year-old, and trust me, I have my own frustrations at times, especially at home with the technology use. It's an uphill battle to constantly fight that, and I get that the hesitancy or the concern sometimes with the integration of technology, but the fact of the matter is we're headed in that direction, right? And so it's important that we're preparing students appropriately for college path or career path, and in either path that they're going down, there's going to continue to be more and more integration of those technology resources, and so we really want to appropriately prepare them. So we are a one-to-one school with technology. Students do get Chromebooks that they use and they can use at home. Also, we have blended learning such as iReady and CERT. iReady is for our kinder through 8th grade, and what this is it's a diagnostic assessment, and they also have lessons that correlate with it. And I know that our elementary and our secondary team will get into it a little more in depth, but I think the valuable thing about this is that in the beginning, the students will take that diagnostic test. It evaluates them and it levels them based off their own achievement abilities. And then throughout the year, it really is allowing them to maybe close some gaps that they may have academically in different areas while still getting that whole group instruction in the classroom environment. So it's kind of an embedded intervention process We still do individual interventions and supports from a teacher standpoint, because nothing beats that one-on-one interaction with a staff member and a student. But this is a valuable tool and resource, and again, those students that do use it with fidelity across the board, you see the translation between how they do on their state assessments and how they do on their blended learning. So I think that's important to point out as well. We are a STEAM-based school, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. These are all areas of focus, and we really do try to make sure that it's cross-curricular, meaning that regardless of the classroom you're going into, there's going to be some level of integration of STEM in that classroom environment. And we're going through the process this next year. We were already nationally accredited for STEM. That means all the Pinecrests in the system have to work together to make sure that we're showing that we have implemented STEM at our school. And there's a process to getting nationally accredited, so we're coming up on our renewal. So we'll be going through that next year. But this is a national accreditation that we are STEM certified as a school. Enrollment. So you are coming at a fabulous time because we've gone through a lot of growth over the past 8 years. When we first started, there was only two buildings, but the elementary building and a little part of the middle school building when you walk out there. We were only K through 9, and we rolled up each year. We also had a new building being built every year. So you're coming in where everything's fully built out, and we're really refining now our best practices, which is incredible. So we're currently at about 2,300 students in our school, K through 12. And then for next year, we're looking to be around 2,350, eventually probably around 2,400 will be our full build out. Those still leave class sizes in a really good range for us across the board. So anywhere, depending on some electives, you may have more students, but anywhere from like 25 students to, on the higher end in certain elective classes, 35 in that range, 25 to 35. Sometimes there's one or two more, but we try to stay in that range because really that's what's best for the students to get quality instruction while they're in the classroom. So we try to keep those numbers in a great place. Our virtual program that I touched on a little earlier, we currently are only 6 through 11 in our virtual program with 130 students, and we hope to be at around 140 for next year. Next year will be our first class of 12th graders, seniors, in our virtual program. Sports, we have lots of them across the board. I think the cool thing about our school is that we offer a lot of sports for the younger students as well. I know there's a lot of families that are involved in different leagues. NYS is the main one that comes to mind, and great league. But I think it's nice from a travel standpoint when you can get your student involved at the school level, even at the younger ages, instead of having to pick them up and drive them across town to an NYS or another league event. You can just stay on campus and have them participate. I also just think it gets them, they feel a part of the school. So it's that school spirit side of things that's really impacted by that. So again, that's K-12. We have things for the younger students like soccer and t-ball. And as you get up into our high school level, our high school is NIAA, which means we play against a lot of the other NIAA schools in our area based off of their enrollment numbers. So that depends on who we play. And we have things, right now we have basketball, we're coming up on, we just started softball and baseball this year in the spring. We also have track, that will be starting in the spring. We have tackle football in the fall. We pretty much have every sport across the board. The only sport that we don't have yet is soccer, and then I'm sure at some point down the road we'll play. We also have archery and cheer and dance and on and on and on. I think one of the common themes that you'll see is it's really important for students to be involved, because when they're involved and they feel connected to something, it translates to them being successful academically because they're happier. They're involved, they're making those connections, and they're feeling a part of something. So we try to provide different avenues based off of surveys that we put out to the community, based off of student feedback. If there's something that they want, we really try to make it happen, because I think it's important for them to have those pathways and avenues and other options other than the technology that they would default to if they weren't involved in something. We're also proud this year that we became a Leader in Me school. For those who aren't familiar with Leader in Me, it's about the 7 habits of successful people. Franklin Covey is the one who kind of created this program originally. And this is just, again, an important piece because it's about the holistic student and the whole child. And so we really focus on implementing as many life skills and giving them as many tools as possible. And so these are the 7 habits that you'll hear us going over at maybe in elementary and morning ceremony time. We've integrated into middle school as far as like students of the month that earn it based off of whatever category it is that month. But these are, again, just focuses on being a good person, being prepared, all those life skills that will set them up for success as they get out into college or career path when they're older. So these are on our website, and I'm not going to dive too far into it, but I would definitely encourage you before your student starts here at our school, and we'll have other informational nights and events at the beginning of the school year once your student does get into Pinecrest Cadence. But I would let you know it's important to go on our website and check out our parent-student handbook as well as our dress code. We are a uniform school, so across the board. I grew up in a public school. I never thought I would like uniform school as much as I do, but I think it's incredible. Honestly, one, it's easier for the parents. It's easier for the students because they get up and they know exactly what they have to wear for the day. And I also just think, again, going back to our mission, it's that unifying force, right? Students don't have to look at each other and judge based off of what they're wearing or what they have or don't have. We're all part of the Pinecrest Cadence family, and we're all united in that front. So I think that's just an incredible component to it, and something that I love about our school. But with that in mind, it is extensive. We have a lot of expectations with our uniform policy. And Miss Purdy I am so grateful for her because she's put together a visual for that you can find on our website. It's a PowerPoint that goes through. I'm a visual learner. I have to see it. And so she created that. And I would, again, encourage you to check that out. The 2 things that I do want to touch on this slide, though, are behavior and attendance, because those are some big areas that people often ask about. So, number 1, attendance is paramount. It's so critical. Students that miss over a certain, I'd say 10 days in a school year, again, talk about correlation. You can see how that impacts their academics. I know that sometimes it's hard, there's family trips, there's things that happen, life events happen. We get it, and we want to support the student, and we'll always provide pathways for them to get caught up on instruction. But nevertheless, the more they can be in school consistently, the better they do across the board. I've been in education for a decade, and it never wavers. It's the same over and over again. Students are here, they're successful. Students aren't here, there's more challenges. So again, no life things happen. If they do happen, please just communicate to us so that we can provide supports and pathways to maybe a safe school professional or someone else that can help your student while they're at school. And then if you're a secondary student and you get into like middle school and high school, you start to possibly impact credits or ability to earn credits because there is requirements from the state on seat time per semester. And if those students don't have enough seat time, then they have to either go and retrieve that seat time that our counselors work with them to do, or come and take a credit retrieval course. So again, across the board it's important. Secondary, it could impact credits. The other piece is the behavior component. We are a school. We are a school. I can't stress that enough. Of course, we know from kindergarten through 12th grade, there's going to be challenges. It happens. And we have a restorative justice philosophy, which means that we do always try to look at the antecedent and the other underlying issue, because a lot of times they're expressing in a way that may or may not be the issue. There's sometimes layers to it. But the bottom line is they're here to learn, and so that's a focus of ours. So we just ask for families that are involved in our school to really help to hold the students accountable when they do slip up or have those incidents. I know I'm talking to nobody in this room. I will never see any students or parents that are in this room, but just as a general philosophy, we want it to be a partnership. We don't want to call and be a combative back and forth between school and parents. We definitely do our due diligence to make sure that we're investigating things and we're not jumping to conclusions. And we just really appreciate when we call and we have that support in place and we can work together to ensure that the school is safe, that the student's doing the right thing, and at the end of the day, they can be here to learn. Communication, this is just kind of an outline. This is again in our parent-student handbook as far as what we ask to be done when communicating. Usually when there are occasional frustrations, it always comes back to communication or lack thereof or miscommunication. So we try to communicate, over-communicate as much as possible. But when you do communicate, if there's a staff issue or a teacher concerned with something in the classroom, we just ask that you reach out and give the teacher an opportunity first to work through it, because a lot of times they can provide more insight than we can at the administrative level. And then of course we're always happy to step in and mediate or support the process if need be. There's, again, not a lot of issues, but if there are, those are the steps. The other thing I wanted to point out is Infinite Campus. Infinite Campus is a tool that all parents will have access to, and it allows you to see your students' grades in real time, any of the work that they have. And so when your student does get enrolled, make sure you're able to access Infinite Campus. If you can't, please reach out to one of us so we can get you to gain access, because there's a lot of communication that comes through that tool. And then again, it allows you to keep up to date with all your students' academics, fees, and things like that. We do offer before and after care. Before and after care starts at 6 in the morning. It ends at 6 at night, so it's a long day. And that is offered for both buildings across the board. And then we do have a free and reduced lunch program for those who may need to go down that pathway. A free and reduced lunch for the past 3 or 4 years has been covered for everybody following the pandemic, but next year it won't be. You do have to apply going into the 24-25 school year, and all that information is on our website. And then when we have the welcome back meetings at the beginning of the year, we will also provide information if you need that. This is a overview, a drone shot of our school and our campus. So again, it's a huge campus. Secondary, we have the car loop that you can see around the outside of the building. The first week of school, there's always hurdles to work out, but by the time we get into the school year, our car loop lasts maybe 15-20 minutes. It's one of the better car loops for charter schools in the state, so I've been told, and I think it works really efficiently. Especially once we get a lot of students involved in after-school activities, then it thins out the car loop even more, and it flows seamlessly. But we do have a staggered start time, so our secondary arrival time is at 7 a.m. Classes start at 7:30 promptly. And then elementary arrival 7:30, and then classes start as well at 8 o'clock promptly, and then those are the dismissal times. Just wanted to point out as well that we do have a partnership with the preschool Dawn of Education. They have a classroom over in our elementary building, so if there's a need for any preschool care, they do have that here at our school. Again, they're not with Pinecrest Cadence, but we have a partnership with them, and so they rent out one of our spaces. All right, so now I'd like to introduce our two amazing elementary assistant principals to go over a little bit about our elementary building. So we have Ms. Utuck and Ms. Ramirez.
So like Mr. Redden said, my name is Ms. Utuck. I'm the K-2 assistant principal. I appreciate everyone being here tonight, especially all my kinder babies in the crowd. I see you, and I pray that you guys get in, because I know how hard it is to pick a kindergarten school for your child. I can promise you, not that I'm biased, but we do pride ourselves in setting up students for success, and most of our families stay from K all the way through 12th grade. They have a very successful educational career, and it's great that we get to share our students among all of our staff here at Pinecrest Cadence. So we have 786 students in our elementary building, which you'll get a tour of after the presentation. We have 5 sections of each grade level. Our kinder classes are limited to 25 students in each class. First grade caps at 26, second and third grade at 27 students, fourth grade at 28, and fifth grade at 29 to 30 students. We do have specials that students go to every day for 50 minutes. So library is going to be a new special that's going to be offered next year. We really want to focus on literacy and preparing our students. So that's going to be something new, and they'll have books available to them all day, all year round. We have PE, music, STEM, and art. And what's really great about our specials is most of them have a night dedicated to their specials. So we have like music concerts that families are invited to come and see their students sing. We have an art show that's coming up at our spring fling where students' artwork is displayed. PE does a field day, and parents are invited to come in and participate and help run those field day events. So they really involve the community and have be able to showcase the student success in specials as well. I know homework is a hot button item that a lot of parents want to know about, so we wanted to include it in our presentation. For grades K2, it is obviously encouraged that we start getting them in the routine of doing their homework. It consists of things like sight words, spelling words, reading fluency. We're a partnership with you guys, and we want to make sure that students are successful in school. So we do start to build that stamina. We kind of look for about 10 minutes per grade level and kind of go up from there. The teachers are really communicative about making sure parents are aware of what's expected and sending home those weekly newsletters with their students. But also, they do have access to their blended learning programs at home. So we have things like ST Math, iReady, Reflex Math Facts. So there is a way that you can help at home too, is getting them on their blended learning programs to help support what they're learning in school, and it carries over to home.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Utah. Again, my name is Brittany Ramirez. I am the 3rd through 5th grade assistant principal. So happy to see all of you here tonight. Thank you so much for coming. Just continuing on with some elementary specific information here tonight. Differentiation, that is something that we really focus on in elementary. So we want to target every student based on their individual needs. And that might sound like a big ask, but what's beautiful is that our teachers have worked really hard to kind of get that down to a science in elementary school. So it looks a little bit different between K2 and 3-5. In K through 2, those kiddos, they're younger. It's harder to transition, right? So a lot of that differentiation is taking place in their classrooms, whether that's through centers or small group instruction. Every teacher does it a little bit differently, but they all collaborate together in each grade level to ensure that students are being met where they're at. If we have a student that has some deficits that we need to fill those gaps, those teachers focus on that. They use data to drive their instruction during that differentiation time to really meet them where they're at. We also try to challenge those kiddos that might be a little bit above grade level. We want to give every student the opportunity to grow and to feel successful. And we do everything in between. In grades 3 through 5, we do something called Power Hour. And what that is that they actually get the opportunity to switch teachers. So they're getting exposed to different learning style or teaching styles. And when they are switching teachers, they actually are being grouped based on their ability level. And each teacher takes a different group based on their ability, and they're able to target that instruction to that group of students. It's worked really well for us in elementary. We've seen a lot of growth over the last couple of years doing that. We also offer GATE here at Pinecrest Cadence Elementary. We begin testing actually at the end of 1st grade, and we do service our students who qualify for the GATE program for grades 2 through 5. And we have an amazing GATE teacher, Ms. McIntyre, who really goes out of her way to create these lessons for these students and these projects for these students that are really next level. They're so incredible. And if you're not familiar with what GATE is, that is our gifted and talented education. We also offer tutoring. We have a grant-funded tutoring program. So any of our students that might be struggling, we actually do offer after-school tutoring, and it is free of cost for families. So that's something that we started again this year, and we've seen great results with that. So some of the other things that we do here in elementary, in 5th grade, we are, again, Mr. Redden said, a leader in me school. So we have something called our Junior Lighthouse Committee. And these students are recommended by their 4th grade teachers as they move into 5th grade, and they just have shown those characteristics of being a leader. So it's kind of like student council in elementary, and they get the opportunity to do really cool things, like plan our dances. We have a dance coming up, I think next week, right? Next week, that's a Hollywood-themed dance, and our kiddos plan pretty much all of that under the guidance and leadership of Ms. D-Lab, who's actually one of our 5th grade teachers. So it's a really cool opportunity for them to kind of be exposed to that leadership opportunity before they move into middle school. They also are doing a luau at the end of the year, which is really cool. They plan all of our assemblies. So normally at a lot of schools, you see administration get up and talk at these assemblies. No, we want kids, right? The kids respond better to other kids. So they plan everything, they do skits, they do competitions. It's really the coolest thing to see and witness. We also do pep rallies and a lot of different things like that. Another way that families can get involved is through our morning ceremonies. So we do morning ceremonies actually twice a week. We do it the first day of the week and the last day of the week. We bring all of our kiddos together out on the turf. We do the Pledge of Allegiance, we do some announcements, and we actually have our classes lead the morning ceremony, which is really cool. So we start off with 5th grade, and by the end of the year, our little kinders are up there reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and it's the cutest thing you'll ever see. But families are more than welcome to attend that. You just have to bring your state-issued ID, be scanned in, and you can watch all of that. Sometimes we have cheer performances and other things at our morning ceremony, so we really love it. We have different fun things. You'll see a picture up here of our book mix. We do that a couple of times a year where we invite families to come and have a picnic with their student and read with their student during lunch. So that's a really cool opportunity. We also do things like Cougar Pride Awards, Blended Learning Awards, and Fun Runs. So we have lots of opportunities for our families to get involved and come in and experience all that Pinecrest Cadence Elementary has to offer.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Mr. Ramirez and Ms. Utuck. Yeah, let's give them a hand. And you'll see again, another common theme is we're really trying to create good citizens, good all-around students, both academically and otherwise. So a lot of these programs, they'll do things in the community and give back and support different initiatives that the school will back them up in. They'll actually create these initiatives, for example, like whether it's a food drive or a clothing drive that they want to do. And it's amazing to see that they rise to the occasion. They really do. When you empower them and give them the opportunity to go down these different pathways and take those leadership roles, they rise to the occasion, and it's amazing to see. So we love that we have that at our school. Right now, I'm going to dismiss parents who just have elementary students so that they can tour. And then at secondary, stay here. If you have students in both elementary and secondary, just hold tight and hear the secondary, and then we'll get someone else to give you a tour over in elementary. All right, we'll go ahead and keep this rolling and turn it over to our secondary team. So we have Miss Jamie Purdy and Miss Lorraine Oler that are going to talk to you a little bit more about our secondary program and what we have to offer.
Thank you for being so patient. We appreciate it. Again, I'm Lorraine Oler, one of the secondary assistant principals. And so in we have middle school, high school, and then we have college. We have approximately 800 students in our middle school and approximately 900 in our grades 9 through 12. And then we have about 160 students who do the dual enrollment program for college. And they do classes both here at Pinecrest and SCSN. Okay, so we have clubs and organizations that are really facilitated by the teachers, but it is by suggestion and need of the students. And so we have a lot of clubs that our students participate in. They range from just the simple things of arts and crafts and drama. And then we also talk about the social emotional needs of our students. And so we have something this year that we're implementing, which is the Hope Squad, which is student mentors that are helping students understand their social emotional needs and helping them. So here's some of our pictures that some of the clubs attend. We have a World Travelers Club. They got to go to Italy last year. They're going to Japan this year. And so lots of great things. It was a great trip, let me tell you. I'll tell you about Japan next year. And then we have our National Honor Society. We have our Student Council, which is a class. But all of those clubs are, like I said, are facilitated by teachers, but really by the suggestion of students. And so there's a wide array of those. We have our secondary performing arts. We have our nationally recognized performing arts. We've got dance, we've got color guard, orchestra, marching band, and cheer. Cheer's kind of sports, you know. But you're right, it is. But we have all these performing arts who are nationally recognized, and they go out of state to perform. They stay in state, but they're invited to a lot of different performances and choir, and they definitely represent our school well, and they have amazing educators and coaches who really work with them to do the best that they can. And so you'll see them out in the community as well. We just had our choir at one of the Henderson hockey games too, so they got to sing the national anthem, which was really cool.
And they're going to Hawaii, right?
Yes, and they're going to Hawaii at the end of the month, so lots of different travel. And then we have Dance, who's going to Florida, to Disney World, so lots of different travel opportunities for your students.
Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Purdy, one of your secondary assistant principals. This is my 8th year at Pinecrest, and prior to that I spent some time in the district, and I really know firsthand how special Pinecrest Cadence is. Welcome to the family. All right, in addition to our performing arts, all the clubs and activity for secondary, we also have career and technical education programs. CTE classes, aviation, cybersecurity, forensic science, and graphic design can award students college credits if they finish the program sequence. And also there are opportunities for them to get the industry certifications. So for example, in cybersecurity, they can get their C++ or Network Plus, Security Plus credentials right out of high school, get hired into those casino jobs, making big money. Dual enrollment. This is one of the things we are really, really proud of. We built this with Mrs. Kendra Cox, who's our dual enrollment and high school counselor. And it has just blown our minds with how successful it is. When we started this, we figured this would be like the cream of your crop, honor students only, going to CSN to get their associate's degrees. And instead, half of our juniors and seniors end up qualifying to participate and earn college credits. And they can get their associate's degrees. A couple of years back at graduation, we had 25 of our graduates that had earned their associate's degrees from CSN before they even got their high school diploma. So just tremendous. Those classes are free. There is a little bit of money you do have to pay to get the associate's degree, but all the basics that cover your high school graduation are free, and families just pay for books. So that is a fantastic opportunity here at Pinecrest Cadence. Oh, and before we get to Q&A, hold on one sec. I know you have good questions because I was coming around and you guys want to know about all the things. We have a couple of our students here. This is our student council president and vice president. We have Lily and Ari. And we know that instead of hearing the grown-ups talk, you really want to hear from the kids because they're the ones that are in these classes, in these programs, and doing all the things.
Thank you, Ms. Purdy. Hi, my name's Lily. So currently I'm a dual enrollment student here, and I'm actually going to graduate with my associates at the end of the year. And this, thanks guys. This has been an amazing program for me. Not only has it helped me get into colleges that I want to go to, because it just is like a little push that I need on my application, it's also really helped me get jobs because they just see that as like very impressive. But also while I'm here, I can be involved in anything that Pinecrest has to offer. So like I said, I'm in student council, I'm very involved with all the events we do here, and then I can play any sport that I want, be on any club, and it's just a great experience overall. So if you want to do it, I totally recommend. And we have Ari to talk about some.
Hey, I'm Ari, I'm the student council vice president. Happy to see you guys here. I am not in dual enrollment. I'm not going to say that I don't. I love where I am. I love the path that I chose, and I'm not going to say that I'm just happy where I am. You guys, I don't want to make it more difficult than it is. It's amazing. I love this school. I love the programs that they have. I do take ASL, American Sign Language, and I am student council vice president. It's an amazing school. There's no other school I'd rather pick. I had the chance to go talk with many schools, and trust me, this is the school for you guys.
We did not pay them. They wanted to do this. And so, no, it's incredible to hear their side of it from a student perspective, and they're both incredible students, so we're lucky to have them here as well.